Welcome, dear listener. Tonight, I invite you to take a gentle walk through the soft sunlit streets of ancient Athens. Let your day slowly melt away. Let your breath slow. And as your thoughts quiet down, imagine your feet stepping gently onto sun-warmed stones in a place that existed over 2,000 years ago. A city of marble columns, olive groves, quiet marketplaces, and the murmur of philosophy whispered beneath shaded porticos. You don't need to know anything about history. You don't need to follow every word. Just let the words drift. Like dandelion seeds in the wind, we're not rushing. We're not trying. We're just walking softly, calmly through the heart of ancient Athens. Let's begin. Early morning in the Agora, the sun is just beginning to rise over the Acropolis. A golden light spreads softly over the city. The air is still cool, and the scent of thyme and worm dust floats gently on the breeze. You begin your day in the Agora, the central gathering space of the city. It's not crowded yet. A few sleepy merchants arrange baskets of figs, olives, and amphorae of sweet wine on low wooden stalls. A young boy chases a chicken, giggling quietly. In the distance, you hear the clip-clop of hooves a farmer has just arrived with his donkey, carrying jars of fresh goat's milk. The buildings around you are simple, columns of pale stone, low-tiled roofs, and porticos where people will gather later to talk, debate, and trade. A soft sweep of broom bristles echoes as an older man sweeps the entrance to a small shrine to Hermes, god of travelers and trade. You notice how gently the light dances on the smooth stones beneath your feet, worn soft by generations of sandals. You walk slowly, no rush, just letting the morning unfold. A walk toward the olive grove, leaving the Agora behind. You wander along a narrow path that leads out toward the edge of the city. Here, the houses are quieter, small whitewashed homes with terracotta roofs and green ivy curling along their stone walls. You pass a woman grinding grain outside her home, humming a low, tuneless melody. Two children sit nearby, playing a quiet game with pebbles, their fingers nimble and their laughter hushed. As you move on, the sound of birdsong grows clearer. You're approaching one of the olive groves, so essential to life in Athens. The trees here are old, twisted trunks, silvery leaves fluttering in the breeze. A young man picks olives, dropping them gently into a wicker basket. He nods to you with a peaceful smile, his dog curled up in the shade behind him. You sit for a moment beneath an olive tree, the earth warm and soft. You close your eyes and just listen to the hum of bees, to the whisper of wind in the leaves, to the stillness that only ancient places seem to hold. Among the philosophers, as you return toward the city center, you find yourself near the Stoa of Atalos, a long colonnaded building where Athenians often gather to discuss, reflect, and learn. A few men are seated beneath the shade of the portico, their robes simple, their voices low. They speak of virtue, of nature, of what makes a good life. You don't need to understand every word. It's more like poetry in the background. A student scribbles on a wax tablet, trying to capture the thought before it vanishes. Nearby, an old tortoise ambles across the stone floor. Unnoticed but steady. The columns here are smooth and tall, casting patterned shadows. Even the wind feels thoughtful, brushing past you with quiet intention. You lean against a column and simply listen, not to the meaning, but to the tone. The calm, measured voices, the hush between thoughts, and you wonder, what must it feel like to spend your days thinking softly under sun-warmed stone? A visit to the pottery quarter now. Let's wander into the Keramakos, the potter's quarter. Here, the air is rich with the scent of clay and wood smoke. You hear the gentle rhythm of wheels spinning, soft, circular sounds as hands shape wet earth into bowls, amphorae, and cups. A potter looks up from his work and nods, his hands dark with clay. Nearby, rows of pots stand in the sun, waiting to be painted with mythic scenes, centaurs, gods, and heroes. But here, everything feels quiet. The artists hum. Chickens peck lazily in the dust. A cat naps beside a kiln, its belly rising and falling with each breath. You watch as a young apprentice traces lines onto a vase, not perfect but careful. The ancient world held softly in a brushstroke. You inhale slowly. The scent of earth, ash, and creation lingers in the air. The garden of a philosopher, beyond the pottery quarter, past the hum of daily work, you come upon a quiet garden, not grand, but lovingly tended. It belongs to a teacher. An old man with a soft voice, known in the neighborhood not for fame, but for gentleness. He grows herbs, rosemary, mint, sage. Their scent carries on the wind, mingling with lavender and soil. He waters the plants with care, speaking softly to them. Not because they need it, perhaps, but because he enjoys the conversation. A few students sit cross-legged beneath a fig tree, notebooks in their laps. The old man does not lecture. He simply shares stories. A parable about a bird, a memory of his mother making bread, a question left unanswered, floating like a cloud. You sit on a smooth rock and watch a bee dance from flower to flower. No one rushes here. Time feels like a stream, always moving, but never hurrying. Women at the fountain, down a gentle slope. You hear the sound of water, steady and cool. It's the public fountain, shaded by tall trees and ivy. Women gather here each morning to collect water in clay jugs. They wear simple chitons, their hair wrapped in scarves. Some speak softly, others simply enjoy the rhythm of water against stone. Children trail behind them, playing with reeds and watching frogs splash into the shallows. You sit nearby as an older woman hums while filling her jug. It's a melody without words, perhaps older than Athens itself. The water flows on, clear and slow, just like your breath. You run your fingers through the cool stream. It feels like holding history itself, quiet, clear, and never still. Described by the shore, you take a winding path that leads out of the city, toward the sound of waves. There, beside a quiet beach dotted with shells and driftwood, sits a lone scribe beneath a fig tree. He writes slowly with a reed pen on smooth parchment. Not poetry, not politics, but the record of tides. He notes the time of moonrise, the birds he sees, the changes in the water. He greets you with a nod, not disturbed, just sharing the silence. You sit on a rock nearby and watch the soft roll of the Aegean Sea. A single boat glides in the distance. The sky is pale blue, stretching wide above you like an empty page. You let your mind drift like the tide. No destination, just gentle movement. Afternoon in the workshop. Back in the heart of Athens, you pass a doorway half hidden in ivy. Inside, a small workshop glows with afternoon light. An artisan is carving a wooden flute. Each groove, each hole shaped with care. Beside him, other instruments rest. A lyre, a tambourine, a panpipe. The scent of cedar and beeswax hangs in the air. A young girl tests a flute, her notes imperfect but sweet. The artisan smiles. He doesn't correct her. He knows that beauty comes from patience, not perfection. You rest against the doorway, listening to the soft music, watching sunlight play across wood shavings and open tools. It feels like you've stepped into the heartbeat of a world long gone, yet still alive in sound and silence alike. Evening lamps and stories. Now, dusk begins to settle. Shadows lengthen across the stones, and a gentle hush comes over the city. You pass a courtyard where lamps are being lit, soft flames flickering inside small clay bowls filled with oil. Families gather for the evening meal. Bread, olives, goat cheese, and fresh herbs are shared. There's laughter, but it's gentle, subdued by the warmth of twilight. In one corner, a grandfather begins to tell a tale to the children of a lion in the hills, of stars that once walked among men of how the cicadas got their song. You sit quietly nearby, sipping a cup of watered wine as the sky deepens to indigo. Above, the first stars appear, small and unhurried. Under the stars at the Acropolis, you find yourself once more beneath the great Acropolis. Its marble gleams softly in the moonlight, not bright, but calm, like bone in the starlight. You sit on a low stone wall. The city is quiet now. Even the cicadas seem to sing more slowly. You gaze up at the Parthenon, perched above like a crown. But tonight, it doesn't feel like a temple. It feels like a lullaby in stone. The stars shimmer above, ancient as the myths once told beneath these skies. And in this moment, nothing is missing. Nothing is rushed. Time drifts like a soft wind. Over the hills, you breathe in and let it go. Let Athens fade gently into your dreams. And now, dear listener, our walk through ancient Athens is complete. But the peace we found there, among the olive trees, beneath the stars, inside the hum of a potter's wheel or the breeze that touched the robes of a philosopher, that peace stays with you. Let it carry you into rest, into dreams that drift gently, like footsteps on soft earth, like stories told by firelight, like waves against an old stone shore. Sleep well, and good night.